Hello everyone, welcome to Grow Roots. This is Shannon and welcome to my April 2025 front garden tour. So, wow, oh my goodness, the garden is really looking quite spectacular. I'm so happy with the way that the garden looks right now, and so I'm happy to take you through, show you all of the things. And I always kind of start off right here, which there's my little garden goose. That's Silly Goose is what we call her. And wow, I'm not sure where to start. So I do often I do front garden tours every month, as well as backyard garden tours every month, and I do container garden tours mostly every month. My winter container garden tours are non-existent, but now that we're getting things planted, I'll be having container garden tours every month. So if you want to follow along, please subscribe to my channel and welcome. And so for my front garden tour, though, I still want to show you all my containers, because at least most of my containers, because I feel like they're such a big part of my front garden. And so, yeah, anyway, let's start off. Like I said, I don't even know where to begin right now. So I actually have a container inside of my front garden, and this is a Limelight standard hydrangea. I trained it myself. As you can see, it's not the tallest standard hydrangea ever, and it's not the best shapen Limelight standard hydrangea ever, because it's the first time I did it. I watched lots of YouTube videos and kind of did it myself, and there were a few things that I didn't do correctly, and so I'm training a new one in my backyard this year, and I won't make those same mistakes, I don't think. But anyway, it is lovely and gorgeous, and this is its 4th or 5th year, and it's really taking shape. Like, it's this nice, beautiful, rounded lollipop shape, which is exactly what I am going for. So let's look. It's not setting any buds yet, and that's totally okay, but they will be soon. So it's gorgeous, but what is planted underneath as an underplanting in this container has just blown my mind. Maybe my favorite container planting that I've ever done. And I did this in October. So I did this in the fall, and I picked up some beautiful, like, hot pink dianthus. And then I picked up some beautiful yellow violas. I picked up another different type of pink dianthus. I have another viola over here, another one there, and then another hot pink dianthus and another hot pink dianthus. So I think I have 4 dianthus and 3 violas planted in this container, and you can't even see the container anymore. And they have just now all grown together, and they are just spectacular. And I was a little worried that they would take away from the nutrients of the Limelight hydrangea, and they just haven't. They've, like, the Limelight hydrangea is doing perfect, the dianthus and the yellow violas are doing perfect. As a matter of fact, I think the yellow violas have seeded themselves down below, and I'll show you where they are growing down below. So that was fabulous. But let me so right underneath the container, I have May Night Salvia, and it is just starting to bloom. It is so pretty. I had May Night Salvia planted all around this container last year, but this one didn't make it. And so I had picked up this beautiful, vibrant lobelia from Callaway's. And it is, I had an extra one, and so I thought, I'm just going to plant it in that spot. I think it looks really good there. I hope it lasts a long time. But these are my daffodils, or what's left of daffodils that were over there. And then look at this, y'all. Look all through here. What you will see is sparkling amethyst Superbena. I picked this up last year, and it just started, like, it's one plant planted right underneath this welcome sign. And it spread all over. It's like over here, it's over here, kind of almost starting to spill over this little garden edging, and then it's all in here as a ground cover over here, and I'm all about it. And it's only It's about mid-April, or almost mid-April, and it's full of blooms. This was the first thing to bloom for me as well. This one was the first one to bloom for me. I think you could see some older blooms there. Yeah, it started blooming in March. It overwintered. It was evergreen for the most part. Some of it died off a little bit in our hard freezes, but then the rest of it was evergreen, and it started blooming in March. It's crazy. So Superbena Sparkling Amethyst I've grown a lot of verbena last year, and this was the one to survive and the one to thrive for sure. I want to get more of it. And then kind of planted in there with it is beautiful petunias from Callaway's. And I thought they looked so much like the new Proven Winners variety of petunias this year. It's Supertunia Tiara Pink. And these petunias, however, were only $1.99 at Callaway, so I thought I would try them, and they are taking off. I have them in a container, and I'll show them to you in a minute too, but these were 2 extras, and I thought they would be the pink and then the Superbena Sparkling Amethyst would look great together, which I was absolutely correct. I'm so glad I planted them there, and so far they are doing really, really well. So planted right next to them are 3 containers. Well, I guess you could say 4 or 5 containers as you walk up my front steps. And this one, I picked up this Creeping Jenny from Callaway's, but the rest of it is winter sown seedlings. So this is Ageratum Leda, grown from seed and doing really well, just not quite flowering yet. I'm really excited to see those flower. It will be a beautiful purple flower or purplish blue. And then this is Yarrow Summer Pastels. Again, this is just, grown from seed and winter sown, and it's just in April already doing so well. I hope that these will bloom pretty soon, but never grown yarrow before, so not sure for first season yarrow. It says they will bloom first season, but I don't know when, so we'll find out. And then there you go. This is a gorgeous container. This is the only container that I actually purchased flowers for this year so far. The rest of everything is winter sown stuff, and stuff and perennials and shrubs that I've already had. But wow, that combination is striking. This is Creeping Jenny. This is Lobelia. It's so vibrant that it seems like it glows. It's amazing. And then same thing with these petunias. They are so vibrant that it seems like they glow, especially with that white center in it, but they really are beautiful. And at $1.99 each, they are growing so rapidly. It's unbelievable. And they're doing exactly what I thought they would do, which is there was a white salvia planted in here, an annual salvia. And you can see it right there, but it is overpowering the salvia, which is crazy because salvia can get really big really quick. But this one, yeah, the petunias are definitely overtaking it, and that's okay. And see, this is already starting to spill over the container. It's only been planted for probably 3 weeks now, maybe 4 weeks, but yeah, it's doing really, really well. And then this container right here is, again, some Creeping Jenny. This Creeping Jenny looks different from that Creeping Jenny for a couple of different reasons. I purchased a large, like gallon-sized Creeping Jenny because it was a lot less expensive than these guys that were in 4-inch pots. And I split this one into like 4 different plants. And so it's, it didn't like to be split up, but this is all new growth right here. I think it's going to be just fine. It's just going to take it a while to get over being upset that it's been split up. And then here we have Craspedia or Billy Buttons, grown from seed. Winter sown. They're these cute little yellow flowers that look like little lollipops, and I'm so excited to see these. And then this is blanket flower. Gaillardia is the other name for it. So it's like red and yellow. So I think this yellow flower, green / yellow Creeping Jenny, and then the yellow and the red from the blanket flower is going to be beautiful. And then this is just variegated Vinca major that I pulled up from spots of my front garden that I didn't want it growing in. I'm doing that a lot this year because it is trying to take over. That's okay. I'm just pulling it up where I don't want it to be, and it's being fine. And I'm just putting it in containers because this will actually be a good spiller for a lot of my containers. So it's just getting used to being planted in a different location, and that's why you see it's kind of limpy. It's also very hot right now. It's mid-April and it's 80 degrees outside at the moment, so it's kind of like, but it'll be fine. I'm gonna get to the rest of my garden. I probably will come back to these containers because these are on my porch, and I will cover these in the container garden tour as well. It's just that I'm not going to be able to get through this tour without showing this to you because I'm super excited about this. We'll come to it in just a little bit. But let me go back to the garden. So coming around here, this will be my last garden tour where I have these gorgeous pansies and Dusty Miller right behind them as, you know, my annuals. They were planted in October, in mid-October, and they were superstars, blooming all throughout winter, even when we had snow. The blooms kind of faded a little bit when we had several inches of snow. As soon as the snow melted, it was done and over with. It started blooming again. It's just pansies in North Texas. I'm in North Texas on the border of Zone 8A and Zone 8B. They do really, really well here for us. And so one flat of pansies is right here, and it's just brought me joy all through wintertime when nothing else in the garden is really doing anything. And I love that. So they're getting ready to peter out. It's getting too hot for them. Although for being 80 degrees, we've hit 90 degrees. Like, they're looking pretty good. But they're going to get taken down probably after this tour. And I'm going to be planting some other fun things there. So wait and find out what I'm going to replace them with. But the Dusty Miller too, I am going to take this out this year. Last year I just couldn't do it. I took every other one of them out and I let them grow really big. I tried to prune them back and then they didn't like that, and just a long story. I'm going to treat this as an annual, although I know they can survive. They just get too big, and then I like to prune them and keep them small, and they don't like that. So they are going to come out, but they are beautiful right now. Absolutely gorgeous. So that's the planter that I showed you before. That's the Limelight Hydrangea. So right behind the Dusty Miller is a row of some really beautiful plants I'd love to show you. These are daffodils. They're done, so the leaves are just still there, which is fine. I have May Night Salvia. This one is just not quite blooming yet, but it's got buds everywhere. And then right next to the May Night Salvia is Sweet William. It's just so beautiful, y'all. This Sweet William is a different Sweet William plant that I had last year. Last year, the Sweet William plant that was here was spectacular. This is beautiful. I love it so much, but it's just not quite like the one that I had planted here last year. It didn't make it through the season, which is fine because the variety of Sweet William it was double mixed Sweet William from Botanical Gardens, grown from seed, and they're biennial. Monarch, y'all. A monarch was just here, I think. It's over there in my neighbor's garden because I'm here, but it was visiting. I don't know if you can see that. That's crazy. I just saw a monarch in April in Texas. Okay. Wow. That's something. I wish I would have caught that on video. But anyway, yeah. That one didn't make it. It's biennial. It was in its second year, which means it could, fade away. And then I wanted to replace it with another Sweet William, so I bought one when they were in the stores in the fall. And this type of Sweet William is not the same exact variety. Mine was way taller. It was like as tall as this, almost as tall. Well, it was as tall as my bird bath. So coming up all the way to here. This one's just not the same, but it's still absolutely beautiful. I do love it. And yeah. And then right next to it, kind of trying to come over it, is a daylily. It is a peach daylily. And I'm seeing I could totally divide this guy into quite a few, but I love it. And then right next to it is May Night Salvia again, and this one is blooming, but it has lots more blooms to come. There is a row of plantings behind that. Let me see if I can get back there and show everybody. Okay. And then my shadow is going to be in the way. I'm going to try really hard not to get my shadow. But there's that Superbena sparkling amethyst that we covered before. And then planted, I'm surprised this guy survived. This is Hot Trumpet Salvia. It is a really great salvia, but I thought it died last year. But it came back and it's doing good. There's some daffodil leaves there. There's lots of Sweet William babies right here. And it's interesting. These might be Sweet William babies of the one that died. I'm not sure. I'm going to let them go. And then you can see there's some violas that seeded themselves from the container that's above that. That's so cute. But over here, trying not to get my shadow there, I have a Rudbeckia planted there. And then I have a Gomphrena globosa planted there. Again, winter sown from seed. And then right behind it, right down there, is another Gomphrena. I believe it's still Gomphrena globosa. I was just wondering, like, I have several Gomphrena varieties that I grew, and I think that might be a Fiery Sunset. And I don't remember if it's Gomphrena globosa again or a Fiery Sunset, but that's what that is. And that's, ooh, let's not forget, that's a Cosmos apricota. I planted that and she's got a bud, which is fabulous. Those are all daffodil leaves, but that is daylily, and it is a red variety, and I forget what the name of it is. But yeah, she's a superstar. She's beautiful with yellow and red. And so I'm excited to see her. And this, yeah, I could probably divide her up a little bit. I'm seeing too. She's doing really good. Let's see. Okay. Let's come back over here. And again, I've got daffodil leaves all over the place. I want to leave them up so that they can gather energy for next year. But planted around my bird bath, the Dusty Miller wants to overtake it, but it is lemon coral sedum. And I had a lemon coral sedum here as well, and it's just, it's either not getting enough sun or it's just being overpowered too much by the Dusty Miller. But the rest of it on the sides is looking, you know, decent, and that one is blooming. So lemon coral sedum, beautiful. Coming around over here, I have planted next to the lemon coral sedum is balloon flower. I absolutely love balloon flower, and this is balloon flower Fuji Blue, and it is literally the only balloon flower I've been able to grow from seed. I grew it 2 years ago actually, and it's just a spectacular plant. When it starts blooming, it's going to be lovely. These beautiful bright blue blooms. I'm excited about it. And then here is another daylily. It is another peach one. And this is a baby of the one that I just showed you. So yeah, she's doing good. And then next to her is a beautiful dianthus. Wow, that hot pink dianthus, just gorgeous. Actually, it's almost red, but dianthus stay evergreen for us here in North Texas, and they really are just a great staple to any garden in my opinion. And everything growing around it just looks so pretty too. The daffodil leaves, the Dusty Miller's growing into it, the pansies are getting close there, and daffodils. And then down here was an empty space, and so I planted a begonia because there is a tree above me. I'm going to show it to you in a minute, and it is not quite leafed out yet, but as it grows through this season, this is going to be like a real shady spot. And so a begonia is going to do fabulous. They do well in sun or shade, and so whatever this guy gets, he's going to be just fine. And then planted right here is another verbena. So this one was picked up last year from Callaway's, and it's just, I love the color of it. It's spectacular, almost like the Superbena sparkling amethyst, but it's a much darker, brighter purple. And it's just like, this one is almost has some blue on it. I don't know if you can see that. but it's just a really, really pretty color. I had them planted like every other plant as my summer annual, and most of them died. This one survived. It was more in shade, which is interesting, but this one survived and came back, and it's flowering really beautifully, and so I'm going to keep it. And then planted right next to it, this was a little bare spot as well, so I put some Azuratum Leda over there. So this will be a nice pop of blue when these start flowering, and that's going to be gorgeous. So these guys that you see popping up everywhere right here and all over here and all underneath my tree and all underneath my hydrangea, this is variegated Vinca major or periwinkle, and it is a ground cover, and I actually really love it, but just know if you plant it in your garden, it's going to want to take over, and you'll need to kind of do some work if you want to keep it confined to a certain place. So like this one, this is rooted in. If I didn't want it here, all I would have to do is pull that up and it's all rooted, and I would just plop it somewhere else. Like this has become its own little plant there. It spreads by, let me see, by these little guys. Can you see that? By these just go all over the place, and then the nodes pop into the soil, and they form their own roots, and then they form their own plants. That's how it spreads. But it's really pretty. It does bloom in the early spring. Looking at it, I don't have any blooms left on it, but it's these pretty like 5-star blue flowers. So it's really quite gorgeous, and it's coming up all over the place back there, which I think is totally fine. I have a white, like, I don't know what that is, a white outlet of some kind that I want hidden, and it's doing a good job with the Dusty Miller of hiding that. So I'm going to let it do its thing. Coming up behind the balloon flower, the daylily, is another Rudbeckia. There's that red and yellow daylily that we saw a little bit ago, and then another Gomphrena. Back there is another Gomphrena, and I have another Cosmo right there. Cosmo achebarcata, and she's got some buds. Really, wow, 4 buds that she's about to flower, and you can see that middle bud is starting to get pink, so that means that should be blooming pretty soon, which is exciting. And then let me back up a little bit, show you a little bit bigger picture of the garden. But the hedge that you see back there, that is Sunshine Ligustrum, one of my favorite shrubs. It is spectacular. It is evergreen here in North Texas. And it's a superstar. You can prune it whenever you want, however you want. Like, it's so tough, but it's doing really well. I'm gonna have to be really careful with it and not let it get too crazy, because I do have all of these plants planted back here, and it can and will take over if I let it. So I want to give everything its space, and I'm gonna stay on top of pruning this guy this year. And then let me back up a little bit further. Let me show you my Vitex tree, or chaste tree. And she is just coming back in. The leaves are forming, and she has, these are the old blooms, but it blooms a really pretty purplish blue bloom. Butterflies absolutely love this tree, and so do bees. And it's just a great tree, and it provides shade for the things that I have over here. So I've got another, let's go this way. I've got another begonia right under here. I don't want to forget to mention Lambo, the garden cheap. And then, yeah, a begonia, a Dusty Miller. They actually do well in shaded areas. And these guys, wow, okay, I didn't realize they'd grown so big. They were so tiny when I placed them here, and they're getting really big. And then I have Burgundy Glow Ajuga here. It is blooming. It's gorgeous. And wow, Burgundy Glow Ajuga looks really beautiful with Dusty Miller. I like that combination. I think that's really pretty. And then this is new. I have a coral bell. This is Magma Coral Bells by Monrovia, and I got this on clearance. My neighbor Aida was at Lowe's, and she called me and said, these coral bells are on clearance, do you want some? And I was like, yes, because they can be quite pricey, and I do love this plant. I have some in my backyard, in my side garden. If you want to watch my backyard garden tour. They are absolutely beautiful, and I have them in rainbow colors, so check that out. I will pop the link on the upper right hand corner for you. But this is Magma. She's this really pretty, like, I don't know, what do you think? Pink, maroon color, especially this darker, newer foliage, and how shiny that is. And then she's gonna get ready to put on a bloom. And look how pretty that is with the Dusty Miller in the background. That, again, I really like that combination. And then I have more Ajuga growing over here, still burgundy glow Ajuga, and she is blooming. She is coming out of bloom, I think, but when they are in bloom, they are just spectacular. I absolutely love. And the foliage is absolutely beautiful too, and complementary to the bloom color. So this is my favorite type of Ajuga, and I have it in a lot of different places. So right behind this Vitex tree is my Endless Summer Hydrangea. Wow, she is just in her big glory, coming out, leafing out like crazy, and she's got some buds right there. There's not as many buds on this one as I have on my other big Endless Summer Hydrangea on my porch, but yeah, she does have quite a bit. I haven't actually looked and seen how many she has, but we do have them, that's for sure. I thought that this winter with our we had a very big cold snap in mid-February that I was afraid was going to completely bust all of these spring blooms on my hydrangea, but it didn't. And so I'm so happy about that. But actually it's a lot. Everywhere I turn, there's another bud, so that's fantastic. And then growing underneath is the variegated Vinca Major again, and I think they complement each other really, really, really well. All right, so that is the front garden. I'll give you one more look, and then let me just show you over here on this side. So I have this little planting area that's like the smallest little square. It's been difficult to figure out what to do with that, but I put a topiary tree there last October, and it's Carolina Sapphire Cypress, and she is this beautiful like light green color, and I love how this plant smells. Like right now when the sun is shining, you walk past it and you can absolutely smell it. I love the smell. I think some people might not, but I think it smells beautiful, and it's doing really well. And then planted underneath it is variegated Liriope, and that will start blooming here in late spring, early summer as well, blue blooms. But for now too, we have these blooms, which are gorgeous. These sweet violas, oh my goodness. I have these in my backyard as well. I don't have the yellow ones, but they're so, so sweet, and they're doing really, really well right there. This is an old hyacinth. And then I have a Confederate Star Jasmine vine that's growing. Well, the vine died back, and this part of the vine though is fully alive, and I'm getting blooms, so that's super exciting. And a lot of it is growing from the base as well. And then over here I have a hedge. It's hard to see because of the shadows, but I have a hedge of baby gem boxwoods, and they are doing really well this year. They're growing fast. This is like their 4th year. They're growing faster this spring than I've ever seen them grow. I just pruned them, and I feel like they need to be pruned again, but they are doing really, really beautifully. And then let me show you, I feel like this is part of my front garden. These are my curbside containers. Again, I will cover these in my container garden tour, but I feel like they need to double up. So here in this, they're both the same, honestly, except for one thing. But here is Mystic Spire's Blue Salvia. It is a Texas superstar perennial for us, and I've got my first bloom. This is so exciting. I bought these last spring. They overwintered in this container. They're hardy down to zone 7, but because we are zone 8 and this is a container, I covered it both times we had pretty cold temperatures. And it's doing great. This one is doing better than the other one. And then planted around it are these beautiful pansies, and they're doing really pretty. And so I like these two together for now. I'm going to let these pansies just stay until they're completely done. And then I'm going to let the Mystic Spire's blue salvia just completely take over. And I don't think I'm going to plant anything underneath it. Or if I do, it will be a Super Venus Sparkling Amethyst, because this one has a Super Venus Sparkling Amethyst in it. I picked one of these up because it was so inexpensive at Walmart last year. It was like $5.96, and so I had an extra one and didn't know what to do with it, and I put it here. I don't know why I did that, because now this looks different than this, and but yeah, if I see one, I'm definitely gonna grab one and put it in the other one. But it is just spectacular and kind of filling in this entire container now. And then this Mystic Spire salvia, it's only coming in this location. Let me see. Oh, no, that's the verbena, I think. Yeah. So this part of the Mystic Spire's blue salvia kind of died off, but this part survived. And so I think it'll be just fine. They grow so prolifically that I think it's just gonna come back and look the same as the other one in no time. It's just not quite got any buds yet, but that's okay. And then I've still got these beautiful pansies as well in that container, so that's exciting. And then let me just show you one more thing before we end this, because I'm just so excited about it. I've got hydrangeas on my porch in containers. Oh, and these guys as well that I just wanted to show you. Again, I'll cover these in the container garden tour, but I think they're so beautiful. I can't not show this to you because this is a large part of my garden. So this is an endless summer hydrangea, and it is full of blooms. I have had this since 2011, so 14 years this year on Mother's Day. And again, it's just everywhere you look, there's blooms, blooms, blooms all over the place. So very excited about that. And it's been in this container in this location all 14 years. It's just it's a spectacular plant. I just love it so much. One thing I did find out is some of the leaves were curling like this. These are the first leaves to emerge, or a lot of them are the first leaves to emerge. And I did some research because I don't see any bug activity on this plant at all. Any pests, no pests, nothing. It's really clean, and the leaves are nice and green. The problem was this late mid-February, like super cold snap that we had. These leaves were coming out at that time, so that super cold snap kind of nipped these leaves and made them deformed and bumpy. But as you can see, all of the new leaves are totally fine. So not to worry if you see that on your hydrangea in early spring, especially if you did have a late cold snap. Let's see. Ooh, okay. This one's about to come out. I always kind of wait until this time and to see what color I think the blooms are going to be. And right now it just kind of looks a little bit neutral. So I'm going to hit it with some soil acidifier. Soil acidifier will turn the blooms blue. And so that's why I kind of just wait. I'm like, is the soil still acidic from the soil acidifier last year, or do I need to hit it with some more? I think I need to hit it with some more. They kind of look a little bit neutral. There's no color like blue or pink right now. So yeah, I'm going to put some soil acidifier in there, and it's going to be gorgeous. And then this one is what I'm really excited about. This is a variegated lace cap hydrangea. And what I'm so excited about is that I finally have buds on this guy for the very first time. I've had this plant for about 4 or 5 years. I've never seen it bloom. It's never bloomed for me. And honestly, in doing some research on these variegated lace cap hydrangeas, and I also have a friend that has one, she just saw her first blooms last year in her 5th year with hers. And so encouraged me, because I think this one is now 5 years old this year. And so I thought maybe next year I'll see some blooms. And sure enough, I am. So super excited about that. I've never had a lace cap hydrangea. I've never, had those types of blooms in my garden. So I'm really excited to see that. yeah, it's got quite a few of them. So, so fun. And what else is going to be fun is when I bought this plant, a majority of it was variegated like this, but there was a portion of it. This is actually not part of my other hydrangea. This is a part of this plant growing in this pot. And I really wasn't sure, is this a lace cap? Or is this somehow like a regular hydrangea that is growing with the variegated lace cap hydrangea? I don't know. So we're going to find out. Is this a lace cap hydrangea that's just not variegated? Or is it like an endless summer hydrangea that was just like accidentally growing with the lace cap? I don't know. But I purchased it that way from the nursery. I didn't care because it was the only one left, and it was in all of its variegated leaf glory. It's such a beautiful plant. So happy to show that to you. I'm so happy it's going to bloom. So stay tuned for next month's front garden tour because these should be in bloom at that time, and I'm just so excited. So let me show you here, and then we will conclude. So these are my Gerbera daisies. I got them last year as this just really super tiny plant. They were given to me by one of my little daycare kiddos. I have a home daycare, and this is just such the most precious gift ever because it's lasting. And every time I see it, it reminds me of her. If you're watching Miss Melody, or if your parents are watching Melody, just know this was one of the best gifts I've ever gotten. Just so awesome to see this plant doing so well. Lots of blooms already, and I have one more coming up. And it's only April. It's only, barely even mid-April. So she's just so pretty. She will overtake this container by the end of this season. That's how she was last year, or before winter hit. So, and this is an encore azalea. This is Autumn Sunset, I believe. Autumn Sunset, Autumn Sunrise. No, it is Autumn Sunset. Okay. And I picked this up for my birthday in October, and she is flowering and doing beautiful. And look at that. Gorgeous color. I love this corally color. It's fabulous. And then as you can see, I've popped in some variegated Vinca Major kind of as maybe a spiller to this container. We'll see how it does. Like I said, it was growing where I didn't want it to grow. And so I just pulled it up and planted it elsewhere, and we'll see how it does. But that is gorgeous. And I love it here on my porch. She loves this spot. That's for sure. All right, so that is going to conclude my April 2025 front garden tour. Super happy with how things are turning out. If you like what you saw today and you want to see more as my garden comes along this season, please subscribe to my channel. It helps me so much. And also comment below, like, what are you growing in your front garden? What are you looking forward to seeing bloom this year? All of those things. Let me know in the comments below. And I just want to thank you all for watching today. I hope you have a fabulous day, everybody. Bye-bye.